All right, so I'm gonna be doing something very different today. I've been reading this book, Making Authentic Shaker Furniture, and in here it gives some recipes for different wood finishes, stains and lacquers, and different colored paints. But I'm gonna try to make one of these this week. This one is for making a blue paint, which it says they used on a lot of their furniture. Um, It's very vague, so I'm gonna have to kind of make shit up as I go. But I'll put the recipe on the screen. But basically, it says pulverize 1 ounce of best Spanish float indigo. I don't know what float indigo is, and I couldn't find any Spanish indigo, but I do have indigo from India. And then you put that into 7 ounces of sulfuric acid in a glass vessel. So I've got sulfuric acid. Let it stand for 2 days. When used, put a quantity sufficient into pure water and add pearlast till the shade suits. So I don't know how much a quantity is, so we're just going to have to make that up as I go. Into pure water and add pearlast. Pearlast apparently is a misspelling. It's not actually pearlast, it's pearl ash. And I couldn't find anything even remotely called pearl ash. But I found online on a woodworking forum that people would, if they couldn't get pearl ash, they would use lye or potassium sulfate in place of the pearl ash. But again, it doesn't say how much to use. It just says put a quantity sufficient into pure water and add pearl ash till the shade suits. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this works out. Hopefully we get some kind of blue paint. I'll start off by putting 1 ounce of Spanish, well, Indian indigo. There's 1 ounce of indigo. All right, now this is there's 2 ounces. Four ounces. Six ounces. There's 7. Give that a stir. Make sure all that indigo is mixed in. It doesn't look very blue yet, but I think the sulfuric acid has to kind of leach out the whatever compound is in the indigo that turns blue. All right, now this has to sit for 2 days. We'll just leave it there and come back in 2 days and add our sufficient quantity of water. And I'll probably do 2 trials. I'll do one with lye and one with potassium sulfate, just to see which one works better. And then I'll just mix up a small amount and try it on a scrap piece of wood and just see what happens. All right, so it's been 2 days. My indigo solution should be pretty much ready. I've got now the recipe for the recipe says to put a quantity sufficient into pure water and add pearlast until the shade suits. So I don't know how much a quantity is of this that goes into an unknown amount of water, and then you add an unknown amount of pearlast or pearl ash. So I'm just gonna have to try a bunch of different things. I'm gonna try it 2 different ways. One with the lye and one with the potassium sulfate. I've got half a cup of water in each one of these, and I'll start off with I'm gonna start off with 1 tablespoon of the solution in each one, and then I'll do 1 tablespoon of the additive into each one also, and see what happens. If I will probably end up having to add more of something. I don't know, it may be more water, it may be more of this indigo, or this lye or potassium sulfate. I don't know. But I'm just going to keep kind of messing with it until I come up with something that somewhat resembles blue paint. And when I do that, then I'll try it on some scrap wood and see how it does. But for now, I'm just trying to figure out what the amounts are, and when I'm done, I'll put like an updated version of the recipe in the probably in the video, maybe in the description, I don't know, but it'll be somewhere, so you can see how much I used of whatever. Okay, that's green. All right, so I moved outside. When I added the lye to this, it turned green, but it also got really hot. So I'm going to transfer this into plastic containers so that these glass jars don't break. It's still kind of a murky black color. It went green and then it turned kind of back to being black. This is more like a gray black. But it got crazy hot and I was afraid that jar was going to end up busting. Alright. So we don't have blue yet. I'm going to try this other stuff, see what it does. The water's bubbling, but it's not turning blue. I can't tell that it's hot. Seems to be a lot more stable than the lye solution. But it's still not, it's like a grayish color. It's really watery. It's not heating up. That's probably a plus, I would assume. This is not really doing anything. It's just gray water. Well, that was a complete failure. This kind of started sprinkling a little, so I had to stop anyway. But it wasn't working. I kind of hate to post a video of a failed experiment. If you want to try one of these recipes, maybe it'll help you guys. But basically what happened was I just kept adding more and more of each solution, or each, like the lye and the sodium phosphate, to the indigo solution, and nothing was happening. I mean, the sodium phosphate and indigo solution was kind of a off gray color, but it was really watery, and it didn't seem like the sodium phosphate was really dissolving any. It was just kind of settling at the bottom, and no matter how much I stirred, it wasn't really dissolving into it. And when I tested it on wood, it didn't soak into the wood at all. And when it finally dried, it was just kind of a gray color. It wasn't anything even remotely close to a blue, and it was a very faint gray. The other one, the lye and the indigo solution, was a little bit more promising. It made a thicker solution when it was all mixed together, but it also got crazy hot and was smoking at one point. So I would definitely and when I tested it on the wood, it just made like it did soak into the wood really well, and it left a really nice honey sort of colored finish. It looked a lot like just more intense version of boiled linseed oil, but it wasn't blue though, and that was kind of the whole point. So but yeah, I just kept adding more and more. I added water. I ended up pouring half the jar of the indigo solution into each container, and then just pouring, lye and sodium phosphate into each one straight from bags without even measuring, and it just it was having no effect. No matter how much I added, no matter how much the ratio was, it had no effect at all. So I guess it's possible that lye and sodium phosphate are just not a good substitute for pearl ash. I don't know where you could get pearl ash. I don't know. I looked around, I couldn't find it anywhere. But it's possible that this would work if you had the proper ingredients.